Alright, today we will be talking about expository writing. Our learning target and our standards is to use literary devices, figurative language, rhetorical languages, and rhetorical appeals to create a variety of effects as appropriate to attend the purpose and the targeted audience. Our learning target for today will be I can assess the impact of a content in language on on a text reception by the audience. All right. The introduction writing, there's 3 easy steps. For your introduction, you will need a hook. The hook can be with a sound effect, the interjection. You can start out with the question, have you ever? So, with have you ever, or you can say, I wondered, did you know, have you ever? And then you can start off with an amazing fact, interesting fact about, or what you're thinking. For 2, you will have to build the background. Give your reader background information in order to prepare and understand your paper. So for 3, it will be the topic sentence. What is your writing about? Use part of the prompt and questions in the sentence. So altogether, for this passage, you have all about stars. Did you know that our sun is bigger and brighter because it is closer to the earth? That will be your hook. And then during my research on stars, I learned that stars are glowing balls of gas. I also discovered that many cultures used to think that sun orbited around the earth, but now we know that the earth orbits around the sun. And that will be how you build your background. And then stars and the suns can be described in many different ways. So there'll be your topic sentence. And for your body paragraph, body paragraphs are the meat of your paper. It gives an example and it analyzes the example that reflects of it. All right, for the new paragraph sentence, you have to indent. So you can put you can start off with first or next or finally, I would talk about, or the first, next, final, which would be the main idea is, and another or important aspect of, and then you have to put your topic in there or the main idea. You can also use when discussing, so a topic, it is important to talk about, or after researching, I learned many interesting facts for the main idea. Then you have to have your transitions to your details. So you have at least 3 of those. So you can say first of all, the first detailed, or to begin with. And for your second transition detail, you'll say next. The next detail is another detail, an additional detail, or equally detailed, or furthermore, or moreover. For transition 3, you'll say lastly, or finally, or the last final, or details, another, an additional, or another equally, or furthermore, moreover. All right, you have, first I will talk about a star color, which shows the temperature of the surface of gas. So if you go back up to the top, there'll be your new paragraph in the starting of it. And then you have a star colors can be blue, white, yellow, orange, or red. The blue stars are hottest and the reds are the colors. So if you go back to the top, that will be a transition of detail. I think it is really interesting that blue stars are the hottest because usually people think that blue means cold. I wonder how many people know that stars color is the opposite of how we think red and blue. And then for your second detailed transition, you'll say that another aspect of the stars is their classification. One central detail is that the stars are grouped by their size, and additional details is that the supergiants are the largest and the brightest wherever the neutron stars are smallest. This example make me wonder about how star size is measured. Usually I measure the objects with the ruler, but rulers are too small for stars. It would be interesting to start the extra numbers, X them. So that would be your second transition detail. And for your third detail transition, you do when discussing the stars, it is essential to talk about their layers. To begin with the core, it is the center of the star where the fusions happen. In addition, energy moves through the radiative and the convective zone. Lastly, the surface is thin layer of gas called the photosphere. This example may be realized that the scientists have really powerful tools to be able to find out the information. And without this information, we would not know much about stars. So for your, pretty much that wraps up your body paragraph. So remember with your body paragraph, you would need a new paragraph sentence. You would need 3 transition details. All right, and to analyze your examples or related to your topic, you will use the words I think or I believe. This idea describes. This means. It's interesting that. This statement example shows. It is interesting that. This example makes me. Or this explains another way to think of the quote. And then after that, you will need your conclusion to wrap it all up. And then the points of the purpose of the conclusion is to emphasize one more time what your main ideas and thoughts are. So with the conclusion, you would choose the conclusion transition words. So the transition words will be in conclusion, to include, or to hint in the summary, or to summarize. And for the second part of your paragraph, you will have to reinstate the topic and the main ideas. So these main ideas are details gave information about the main idea, and you talked about the supported the idea and explained. Or the topic was talked about the support that explained, described by the main idea. And then for 3, you have to reflect, relate, and refine. So make your last sentence count by leaving your reader food for thought. So with that, you will go by I believe, because, or on the whole, a connection I can make, or the point that is easy to make the related to. In conclusion, a star color classification in layers describe more about the stars and the sun. Gives these points. It is important to remember that our sun is only one of the billions of stars. So in that passage, you was able to choose the conclusion, reinstate the topic and the main idea, and then you were able to reflect, relate, and refine. All right. And to wrap it all up, you will need your, for introduction, you will need introduction. You will need your body paragraph, which is the meat of the paper, and you will need the conclusion, which is the purpose of the conclusion, to emphasize one more time what's the main idea. For the assignment, could y'all get into a group of 4 or 3? And we will be doing how to create an infographic or a TikTok. And for the objective is to show what you learned about the expository writing by creating a how-to infographic on the topic of your choice. You can use a clear organized steps and engaging visual to teach others how to do something you're interested in. So for your introduction, you're going to choose a topic. For example, how to bake a chocolate cake, how to make a great playlist, or how to train a puppy. And make sure it's specific and something you can explain in a few clear steps. For 2, you're going to outline your steps. So you're going to write down each step someone would need to follow or complete your task, or keep each step short and clear in order. And then you're going to list any material, tools, and ingredients you will need. And then 3, you're going to design the infographic. Use a paper or a digital tool to organize your information in a creative, easy to read layout. And for your infographic, you need to have a title, the steps, and the visuals. And 4, you're going to add a pro tip or did you know. At the bottom of the side of your infographic, add one fun fact or a useful tip to relate it to the topic. In example, a pro tip: add a pinch of salt to your chocolate cake or batter and bring out the flavor. And then for your final touches, you're going to make sure everything is neat and easy to read. And then you're going to check the steps are right in order and it's easy to follow. And then 6, you're going to turn it in and share. So you'll submit your completed infographic and optional. We may display some of your work around the classroom. So if y'all can get into your group.
Y'all can bring your shelves over here. Come bring a chair over here and sit over here.
All right, you'll have at least, I'll give y'all 5 minutes because each person will have to do.
5 minutes?
Each person will have to do a part inside the project.
I need to do a project, you know what I'm saying? Get ready to show all of this.
So one of y'all partners will have to do the topic part. So I need y'all to pick what topic y'all gonna do. And then another person's gonna outline your steps. And then the third person is gonna design the infographic. So I need y'all to have pictures on there. And then somebody can come up with a pro tip. And then y'all have to put y'all final touches on there.
crate should be large enough for your dog to lay down, turn around, and stretch out. Step 5, the in dog trainer who focuses on positive reinforcement can help ensure a well-behaved and happy pet. And the pro tip is, did you know that dogs have about 1,700 days regularly neural lines? You're gonna read step 1?
Right, y'all can do your own
No,
research.
right now we can. But when you're out, you're in the room. I don't have to read step 1. It's just step 1. This is your own. Step 1, use treats. Reward. They do what you want. Did you read step 2?
Step 2, dogs learn at different rates, so don't worry if your dog doesn't pick things up right away.
Alright, so while y'all working, I'm gonna give y'all an example of how it's supposed to be. So this one is on how to become a wrestler. So for step 1, the first step is becoming a wrestler is to first equip the physical and to begin to inform a coach that's familiar with the wrestling, right? So step 2, after that you begin to learn some wrestling moves. If you knew this tip first, so for 3, once you have begun to get the hang of your wrestling moves, begin on cardio. And a pro tip for that is to run. You can run, you can spin drills. You'll need a partner as well. So step 4, there's more to this sport than to getting physical with your opponents, like gears, wrestling, shoes, headgears, mouth guards, and etiquette. In step 5, all the previous steps will benefit heavily this goal of setting an achievement in the great careers. So are y'all ready for y'all?
And then tools that you need will clearly be treats, a leash, and a crate. So what are the things you need? Treats. Yes.
Alright, so what are y'all doing y'all's on?
How to train the
Okay, what's your first step? The train the puppy. So you're gonna reward your dog, get what you want.
step 2.
Step 2, dogs learn at different rates, so don't worry if your dog doesn't pick things up right away.
Alright, good job.
Step 3. Step 4, crate training is an effective way to house train your dog. The crate should be large enough for your dog to lay down, turn around, and stretch out. Step 5, the in-dog trainer who focuses on positive reinforcement can help ensure a well-behaved and happy pet. And the pro tip is, did you know that dogs have about 1,700 taste buds?
Oh, wow, okay, good job. So to recap what we talked about today, you would need to know your introduction, and it tells your readers what your essay is about, and it includes the hook, the background, and the information. So y'all hook and background, the information. We got paper here. So y'all hook could be, did you know that the dog have about 1,700 taste buds? So that'll be your hook. Alright, and for your body paragraph, you'll start off with your steps. So you have your steps. Your body paragraph are the meat of the paper. So the meat of y'all paper would be that you use treats to reward your dog when they do what you want. Step 2, which is y'all other transition. Dogs learn at a different rate, so don't worry if your dog doesn't pick things up. And step 3, you would use a leash during early training sessions to control your dog while they are most likely to be distracted. And then another one could be create training, an effective way to house train your dog. The crate training should be large enough for your dog to turn around and stretch. And then you have the end dog trainer is to focus on positive enforcement to help ensure that you have a well, happy pet. So that will be your conclusion for step 5, which is to end the dog training who focus on positive reinforcement and reassure behaviors.